In this video, we will share about the example of manufacturing company, the layoff to eliminate waste, causes arises after implementations JIT, and the drawbacks of JIT. Manufacturing companies make products on large scales, but there are challenges with storing materials for these companies. Discover the possible solutions that can come from implementing lean and just-in-time manufacturing, as well as the uses and drawbacks to each of these. Peter had just been promoted as a CEO of the company that makes lotions, soap, and hair products. He's happy to be in charge, but wonder if the company is running as smoothly as it can. For example, he noticed that they have a warehouse full of raw ingredients and materials that they use to make their products. Do they really need to keep all those materials on hand? Manufacturing is the process of making a product on a large scale. Peter's companies make money from making bottles of lotions, so they are in manufacturing business. Like Peter, many manufacturers worry about whether they are working efficiently or not. To help Peter and others answer their questions, let's take a look at two related concepts in manufacturing, which is the lean and the just-in-time manufacturing. Peter wants to know if his warehouse of ingredients and materials is very useful for his company's manufacturing. Is there a better way to keep these things? Lean manufacturing focuses on eliminating waste in productions of products. For example, Peter's company buys ingredients for their lotions and soap in bulk and store them in a warehouse. But if some of those ingredients aren't as important after being stored for a while, then Peter's company might need to use more of those ingredients to get the same result. That's wasteful. Instead, Peter might want to buy less or certain ingredients and use them faster rather than storing them. Related to lean manufacturing is a concept called just-in-time manufacturing, or JIT in short. In JIT, companies order materials to arrive just as they are needed. If Peter knows, for example, that they need a certain amount of an ingredient in order to produce 1,000 bottles of lotions, and if he knows that his company sells 1,000 bottles of lotions every month, then he would order only the amount of the ingredients necessary to make those 1,000 bottles, because JIT is about not keeping too many materials on hand. It is one way to implement lean manufacturing. With JIT, Peter will get rid of the warehouse, storing ingredients and material for future use. Instead, Peter will order just what he needs, when he needs it. This way, there's never anything extra lying around. He will get the material just in time for his manufacturing. Hence, he will just get the material just in time for his manufacturing. Peter can easily see the benefit of choosing just-in-time manufacturing. His company will save money and space by not having to use a warehouse. But he wonders if there is a catch. What are the drawbacks to JIT? First of all, there are costs associated with coordinating with suppliers. For example, in order for JIT to run smoothly, Peter needs to keep his supplier, which is the people who sell him the material he needs, in the loop as to know how much of the particular material he needs. He can do this many ways, including through information technology and by having a person at the company to keep constant contact about orders. But either of those come with a cost. So Peter needs to understand what his different options will cost his company. Another drawback is that the company is vulnerable to unexpected supply issues. For example, if Peter used lavender in his lotions and soap, and a disaster wiped up the farm that supplied in his company with lavender, Peter could be left with no lavender. If he's running a JIT operation, in contrast, if that same disaster come around when Peter has a warehouse full of lavender, this is not a big deal. Peter's come with the risk that problem in the supply chain will leave the company without the materials they need to manufacture their products. Finally, a JIT company is less flexible in the ability to fulfill order. Right now, if Peter's company suddenly get a huge order for several thousand bottles of lotions and the customer need those bottles next week, he can fill that order by just making more lotions. But if he doesn't have a warehouse of materials, he wouldn't be able to make the lotions and could lose the order. So, what is the lesson summary for today? Manufacturing in the process of making a product on the large scales. Many manufacturers worry about whether they are working efficiency or not. To increase efficiency, some manufacturers use lean manufacturing, which focuses on eliminating waste in productions of products, or just-in-time manufacturing, or we call a JIT, where companies order materials to arrive just as they are needed. Despite the benefits, there are some drawbacks to using JIT or lean manufacturing. First, there are costs associated with coordinating with suppliers. Another drawback is that the company is vulnerable to unexpected supplies issues. Finally, a JIT company is less flexible in the ability to fulfill order. That's all for my sharing in today's video. As always, if you learned something new in my video, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notifications bell. My name is Vivienne. I am a business software coach and I see you in my next video.